So we'll get stuck straight into tonight, which is why educators need yoga. So I thought I would begin this session by briefly explaining what yoga is, why we practice it, the benefits of yoga, and then take you on a little yoga sequence. Don't be overwhelmed at all, it's very, very gentle, but a sequence that I've designed specifically for educators, knowing the certain muscles of the day that get really tight and fatigued, and just areas of the body that we really, really need to stretch and focus on to feel a little bit more at ease in ourselves, a little bit more relaxed, free of tension, and basically just to be able to breathe better and feel better. So let me begin by briefly telling you what yoga is. A lot of you may hear the word yoga and associate it with a practice on a mat, such as this. Possibly doing yoga in a really hot, humid room with maybe people yelling at you, telling you to do this, do that. Or you might have the opposite idea of yoga being a very calm, tranquil practice where you're moving really slowly and it's quite relaxing. Neither of those are wrong. Yoga isn't actually a practice. Yoga is a state. It's a state of being. It comes from the Sanskrit word to yoke or to unite. And what we're trying to yoke or unite is the body, mind, and soul. And so when we practice yoga, whether we're stretching on a mat, whether we're doing some kind of regulated breathing, whether we're meditating or just simply being present, we're practicing being in a state of yoga. It sounds pretty nice, right? And the majority of the courses and workshops that I teach are about how we get ourselves into that state of yoga without simply being on a mat. How do we do it when we're changing a child's nappy? How do we access a state of yoga when we are facilitating an experience for children in our centers? There are many, many different ways to practice yoga, but the intention is the same. So having practiced yoga for, probably about 15 years now, and undergoing quite substantial training with various different teachers, yoga is something that I feel is an overall sense of contentment in body, mind, and spirit. It is a steadiness and a down regulation of your nervous system, and the feeling of clarity of mind. So an overall sense of contentment, a feeling of a down regulation of the nervous system, so feeling calm, and to be able to just have not much going on up here. There is one translation of yoga that is simply, yoga is the cessation of the fluctuations of the mind. And when you think of it that way, you begin to understand that the body and the mind are connected to each other. So when we're doing this physical practice, we're helping the mind to focus on the one thing we're doing instead of being overwhelmed with a million different thoughts. And the reason that educators need yoga is because we are often in a state of fight or flight throughout most of the day. And I'm sure if you're a parent, you can also resonate with this as well, that, we're kind of on edge. We are expecting things to happen out of the blue, challenges or maybe accidents. Not only that, but we have to be concerned that we are following a rhythm every day, that we are meeting different standards and time frames so that children eat when they're supposed to, so that children rest and have enough time and space for rest. There are many different things that trigger our nervous system to sort of tense up and speed up. And the reason that yoga is good for educators is because that helps to calm us down. And that's something that we really, really need to be able to be well in the body, in the mind, in our emotions, in our communications. Professionally, we need downtime. And I'm hoping that this practice that I take you through tonight can help to relax you and just make you feel a little bit more settled. That's basically what it is. There are different kinds of yoga practices that, you know, can aim to stimulate you quite a lot. But like I said, in the same token, most yoga practices are designed to regulate you, not really stimulate you. Yeah. So if you've got some tights on, if you've got some kind of yoga mat or soft grounding beneath you, I'd like to invite you to practice with me now. The practice won't go for very long. Like I said, not going to be too strong, just something that we can do for ourselves to feel a little bit more at ease and settled in our body and our mind. Okay, so I welcome you to just come into a comfortable seated position. You might like to sit up on a bolster, a block, or a cushion if that's helpful for your lower back. And when I say if that's helpful for your lower back, you may be someone who tends to round a lot here. Yeah? Or you may be someone like me who tends to be a bit of a rooster and sticks their chest out too much. Having something, I'll actually grab a block now to show you. Having something underneath you creates space between your back, or between your hips and your thighs here. So it just helps to lift your shoulders over your hips. You just need to be mindful here that you're not flaring, that you're drawing your ribs in and lengthening your tailbone down. Yeah, so you should feel quite steady in your core. That's also something that is important to focus on during the day. When we're doing so many different things as educators, bending down, picking up, you know, we can get ourselves into really special and interesting positions. So always be aware of how am I going to move from my center. I'm not just going to throw myself around. I'm going to be aware that I'm moving from here at all times. Okay, so let's start just seated. We'll close our eyes together. Take a deep breath in through our nose and a long breath out through our nose. Do that again. Breathe in and breathe out. One more time, a deep breath in and a long breath out. Good. So just take this moment before we start moving to just acknowledge how you're feeling in your body. Whether you have any sort of injuries or areas that you need to be conscious of or pay special attention to when we're moving. We'll be focusing on things like our hip flexors, hamstrings, our quads, and our shoulders and chest. These are the main things that tend to get quite tight throughout the day. We'll just take another breath in here and consciously relaxing the shoulders down away from the ears. Good. You can open your eyes now. I'd like you to bring your arms into a cactus shape from here. So just on 90-degree angles, wrists over the elbows, drawing the shoulders back. We'll take a deep breath in. And as we breathe out, we're going to twist to the right side. So using the muscles in the back and the spine. As you breathe in, come back to the center. And as you breathe out, twist to the other side. Breathe in, come back to the center. And breathe out, go to the right. Breathe in, come to the center. And breathe out, go to the left. Okay. From here, back to the center as you breathe in. As you breathe out, twist as far to the right as you can. Holding it here. Exhale a little bit more and twist a little further. And then drop your hand to your thigh or your knee and place your fingertips behind you. If you can, right at the base of your spine. Drop your shoulders down away from your ears. Keep your chest lifted. And gently turn your head to face your back shoulder. Keep breathing through the belly. Take a breath out. We'll come back to the center from here. Bring your arms back to that cactus shape. Breathe in, lift the chest. Breathe out, go to the left. Holding the position. Breathe out and twist a little further. And place your hands down. Drop your shoulders, lift your chest, and maybe turn your head to face your back shoulder. Try and keep that breath alive by breathing in for 4 and breathing out for 4. Good. Come back to the center. Now from here, this will look complicated, but it's actually not. So we're going to get our right arm and cross it over our left. Now, if that feels like it's enough for your shoulders, stay working there. Otherwise, bring your palms to touch. This is called eagle arms or Garudasana in yoga. So as you breathe in from here, you're going to reach your arms up toward the ceiling. And as you breathe out, you're going to round your spine and draw your elbows in towards your belly button. Inhale as you come back up. And exhale, do that again. Round and draw everything in. Last time, inhale, come up. And exhale, round and come in. Good. Release from there. Arms come back to the cactus. Left arm over the right. So either palms separate or palms together. Breathing in, reaching up. And breathing out, rounding, drawing in. Not only is this great for our shoulders, but it's also amazing for our spine, something that tends to get shorter if it's not moved. Exhale, come back down. Inhale, back up. And exhale, back down. Awesome. Release your arms from here. Bring your hands and your knees to the floor. If you've got a blanket or a block, just place it to the side. And bring your left hand underneath your head. As you breathe in, reach your right arm up. And as you breathe out, thread that arm underneath and let the head rest down on the floor. This is also great for your shoulders. If you can, try and just lift up a little bit through your belly so you're not sagging down too much. A little bit of core activation. If that's enough, you can stay there, or you can reach that left arm up and wrap it around your waist. Shoulders are something that is tight for most of us, but particularly when we're bending over and doing all kinds of funny things as educators. Shoulders and chest and upper body need a lot of care and attention. Breathe in. And breathe out. Just extend that arm back up. And release it to the floor. Push down. Lift that right arm up. And lower it back down. Right hand underneath the head. Breathe in as the left arm comes up. Breathe out. Thread through. Drop the head. If you did so on the first side, right arm comes up and binds around the waist. Take a breath in. Exhale. Release that top arm, push it down onto the floor. Left arm comes up. Good. And place your hands back down. We'll come to the front of the body from here and do a deeper shoulder opening position. So bring your arms out so you're in a T. Bend your left knee. Lift your thigh up and turn over to your right side. So you're resting on your right shoulder and your head is resting on the floor. So make sure here you are right on your shoulder. You're not putting any pressure or weight on your breast. right over onto the shoulder. Maybe that back foot becomes flat. Left arm up. And just drop it back as far as it'll go. This is really nice. I'm enjoying this a lot. From here, we're just going to make some circles with our arm. Circling up in an outward direction. Not too fast, not too slow. Just right. Good. One more. And come back to the center. Forehead down. Bend your right knee. Lift your thigh up and go to the other side. Right arm up, let the shoulder drop back and start rotating. Hopefully that feels really nice. Opening up that upper body as well. One more rotation. And back to the center. And bring your arms behind you, clasp your fingers, and press the tops of your feet down onto the floor. Try and find your pubic bone here. See if you can locate it and press it down. As you breathe in, lift your head up. Just keep looking down and lengthen through the neck. As you breathe out, lower the head down again. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift back up. Lift the gaze, look forward. Good. As you exhale, bring your hands next to your ribs. Draw your elbows in. Tuck your toes and sit all the way back onto your heels. This is called child's pose. Not actually something I see children in often. Unless maybe they're very tired. And now from here, keep your toes tucked under and just lift your hips up toward the sky. And then come into downward facing dog. So in this position, your hands are shoulder width apart. Your feet are hip width apart. You might like to have a big bend to your knees if your hamstrings are tight, or maybe just a micro bend. We're going to push our hips up to the sky. I want you to turn the head from side to side here. Good. And look forward between your hands and walk your way to the top of your mat, the top of where you are. Bring your big toes together and your heels slightly apart. So we're going to bend our knees quite a lot here. We're going to cross our arms and hold on to our ankles. Now let the head be heavy. As you inhale, straighten your arms and push up into the space between your shoulder blades. Try not to pull the shoulders up as well. Let them just relax. But you're trying to find that space in the upper body. And lean forward slightly into your toes. And release. Cross the other arm on top. Extend your arms. Good. And release. Bend your knees nice and deeply and roll all the way up, taking your time. Feel the shoulders come over the hips. Give them a little roll back. Okay, so we're just going to do a really nice side stretch here to start with. We are going to begin with our right leg over our left. So right leg in front, left leg behind. Right arm is going to come up. And we're going to bend over to the left. Yeah, it's a little bit tricky to balance here with the feet, so don't be worried if you start to hobble a little bit. Try and find a lot of grounding through your toes and your heels. And just take a nice side bend. This is really nice for the side of the body, obviously, but also something that we just don't tend to move. We don't tend to stretch. I actually feel like I can breathe better when I do this. So really enjoy this one. Take a breath in. And take a breath out, come back to the center, and just simply get your front leg and wrap it behind your back one. Yeah, so we've got the other one in front this time. Inhale the left arm up. Exhale, bend to the right. Got a bit of a wall in the way here. And really enjoy, just ground down through the feet. Keep the breath nice and steady. And exhale, come back to the center. Release your feet. And we'll come to the top of our mat now. So let me just move back a little bit so that you can see me fully. Okay. So we'll just stand tall here, with our arms beside our body, our shoulders over our hips, and our chin in slightly toward our chest. As you breathe in, reach your arms up and over your head. And as you breathe out, bend your knees and fold forward over your legs, tucking your chin in toward your chest. As you take another breath in, just come right onto your fingertips, extend your arms, look forward. And as you breathe out, fold forward again over your legs. Good. This time as you inhale, I want you to step your right leg back and lower that knee down to the floor. Good. We're going to come all the way up with the arms now and make that same shape we did in the beginning, the right arm over the left. Palms might meet. I'm going to breathe in, reach the arms up. I'm going to breathe out, slowly sink our hips forward. Yeah. It should feel super nice. A muscle that gets very, very tight or underused is the psoas muscle, which runs down the thigh. So we're releasing that, we're opening that up. Take another breath. Exhale. Bring both hands to the floor. Step to a plank position and lift your hips back to downward facing dog again. I'm just going to take 3 breaths in. Remember to bend your knees if you need to. Take that breath out. Step your right foot in between your hands. Give it a little help if you need to. Lower that back knee down. Arms come up once more. This time the left comes over the right. We breathe in, reach up. And we breathe out, lunge down. Think about all those positions that you've been in through the day where the legs have been like my front leg is now, in those little chairs. All those weird positions, and think about opening up through your thighs, through your quads, your psoas. Take a breath. Exhale, release your hands back down. Step to a plank again and press back to a downward facing dog. Good. Drop down onto your knees from here. And we're going to come into, let's come into actually this posture here. So sit on our bottom and bring the soles of our feet together. Now, depending on how open your hips are will depend on where you place your feet, right? So if you find you need a little bit more support or you just want to start slow, bring your feet further away from you, okay? Now that is actually a posture in itself. You should be able to have 2 hands between yourself and your heels. Yeah. So maybe we can all start with this one as well. Just grab hold of your shins, lengthen through your spine, bring your shoulders over your hips. And I want you to just close your eyes. We'll take 3 deep breaths in. Just imagine with every breath, the spine is growing taller. You're creating more space within yourself, within your body. Fresh breath, easing into the pose. Good. All right, now if that's enough, stay there, that's okay. If you feel you could go a little bit deeper here, slide your heels in closer towards you, clasp your hands around your feet, and let your knees drop out wide. Again, lift up the chest, just closing the eyes for 3, for 2, and for 1. Gently open up the eyes, bring your knees together, and just wrap your arms around your legs. Let your head drop down between your knees. Nice. Okay, release from there. We're going to come into our back now. And bring your heels underneath your knees with your palms flat on the floor. Okay, now as you breathe in, you're going to lift your hips up. And as you breathe out, you're going to lower your hips down. Inhale, lift your hips up. Exhale, lower your hips down. Good. Keep moving with your breath now. Keep supported through your hands and your feet. Remember, we're not trying to stimulate, we're trying to regulate. So don't rush the process, don't rush the breathing. And taking one last hip raise. And lowering back down. Okay. From here, bring your feet to the edges of your mat. And just clasp your hands, place them behind your head. Let your knees drop to the right side. And then let them come back to center. Let them drop to the left. And come back to center. Good. Again, keep moving with your breath. Not too fast, not too slow. Super good for the hips here. And then when you get back to your right side, I want you to just let them drop. And if you want a little bit more, this is really juicy, this one, you can place your right foot over your thigh. You get a nice stretch along here, which is what we're trying to do, just trying to open up and expand again. So often throughout the day, I mean, even if you're not an educator, you're just hunched over a computer or a screen or a mobile or something. We need to give ourselves a chance to expand again. Now, you might even like to place your block underneath your head as well, or maybe a cushion if that's more comfortable. Settle into the pose. One more breath. And release. Place your feet back down and drop to the other side. If you wish, place that foot over the thigh. It does feel really nice, trust me. Just try to let go of your day. Let go of anything that you're holding on to that's not really going to do you any service right now. You've decided to be here in this moment, and this is where you are. Take one last breath. Exhale. Come all the way back up. And hug your knees into your chest. One last little pose we're going to do from here. Let's just rock our hips from side to side. Massage the tops of the glutes. I know this doesn't look like much, but this feels so lovely for the lower back. And like I said, the tops of the glutes and the hips, we don't realize how tight we can get. Tightness tends to spread itself around the body. It might start in one area and end up in another. Okay, from here, we're going to place our left foot down and bring our right ankle over our knee. Now, if that's enough, you can stay there, or you can reach through your legs, take hold of your knee and drop your head back down. And you might find that you just want to play with this a bit, maybe rock from side to side, maybe just explore bringing the knee in closer to the body, further away. This is somewhere I find I'm quite tight, so I like to bring a little bit of movement into this. Release, change sides, so the left ankle over the right knee. Whatever you did on that first side, repeating. And very gently releasing from there. Bring both knees back into your chest and your arms out wide, and just let the legs fall over to the right side. Take a very quick twist here. It's always good to look after the spine. Twisting is also great for your digestive system, get things moving in the body. Just relax. Come back to the center and go over to the other side. Might hear a couple of little cracks. Hopefully they're the good kind. And then come all the way back to the center. Extend your legs up high. Take a breath in. And very slowly, as you exhale, lower your legs all the way down to the floor. Take your feet to the edges of your mat. Bring your arms a little closer in towards you with your palms facing up. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And exhale. Here in Shavasana, resting pose just for a couple of minutes. Allow yourself to digest that practice, that physical practice. Allow it to live in your body. Exploring and welcoming any sensations that come up, physically or emotionally. Just letting yourself be here, where you are, as you are. And start to slowly deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Reach your arms over your head. And bring your knees into your chest. And give them a little squeeze. And roll over to one side. And make your way up to a seat. We'll just end the practice where we began it. So hands over the knees, eyes closed. Acknowledging where you are in your life. Bringing about a sense of thankfulness for every opportunity that you've had thus far. And thanking yourself for reserving the time to practice yoga today. Bring your hands together. Just bow your head. And thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed that little educator special sequence this evening. Please feel free to do that anytime you like. If you have any questions about the yoga practice, about anything yoga related or well-being related, please reach out to me. And any suggestions at all for next month. So the first Wednesday of every month is when I do well-being, the long we become. Please get in touch and it can be something that we can focus on together. All right, have a nice evening and I will see you soon. Thank you.